Welcome to today's episode of the Working Wisdom podcast series, brought to you by the C.T. Bauer College of Business at the University of Houston. We're having a conversation about work-life balance, how to navigate and overcome challenges within your career, and how to make business more accommodating to a diverse workforce.
This is Brinda Penmetsa, alumna of the University of Houston, and you're listening to the Working Wisdom podcast from the Bauer College at the University of Houston.
Hello, Brenda. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing very well. Thank you. Nice to hear from you.
It's good to hear from you, too. It's been a few months since we were in this classroom, sure.
Yes, we miss you here at Bauer.
Yeah, I miss UH too, for sure, but it's great getting to see the consultant perspective from the other side and being a graduate. Definitely some things from college that have carried it over and implemented in working, for sure.
Yeah. That's great.
So how are you doing? How's the SURE program going?
The show program is going very well. It is exploding. We are now in a really active learning classroom. So I don't know if you're aware of Kiwa Room in Farish Hall. That's where our class is.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw something that Charlie Becker posted about the College of Education, I believe.
Yes.
Allowing y'all to use that space. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Right. So the dynamic of the class now is just phenomenal. It's very good. Yes.
It's good to hear the new partnerships and growth. And just for our listeners, for people who might not know what the SURE program is, could you talk a little bit about what semester the SURE program is in now, kind of the history and how it got started?
Yeah, so this the way the SURE program is currently, first SURE stands for Stimulating Urban Renewal Through Entrepreneurship. It's it's an educational platform that facilitates a value-added partnership between UH students, industry experts that we call subject matter experts, and entrepreneurs from under-resourced communities right here in Houston.
Right.
Yeah. Our program, as you know, Brenda, has two goals. Through experiential learning, the program produces socially engaged students that have developed empathy, an entrepreneurial mindset, critical thinking, and other key skills that are needed by the marketplace today.
Okay.
And then,
what year the SURE program is currently?
okay, so the SURE program, as it is currently right now, it's in the 5th year. So this is our 9th academic semester.
Wow.
Right. So with the first year, it started the way it is right now. It started in 2012, but it was a pilot year. And then fall 2013 was when we really launched the SURE program. Okay.
And so what was, you talk about, providing students experiences and the skills to think about entrepreneurship and be socially minded. And you also mentioned working with underserved communities and empowering them to create businesses. And it's a great concept, and this SURE program, of course, is an award-winning program, but on a personal level, what was your inspiration for starting the program? And in its early days, what kept you going to persevere and carry it through to what it is now?
Okay, so what inspired me to do this is simple. The people. SURE is firstly for the students, but also has a large community footprint. The genesis of this program came in 2006 when I led a group of students on a study abroad trip to India, in my home country. There our UFA students, met with microfinance institutions in the urban slums in Mumbai. and saw firsthand the tremendous impact microloans could have on people who do have traditional access to capital. The direct descendant of that class is Shore. So while at Shore, we are not a microfinance institution, as you know, we are a university. We do aim to energize the entrepreneurial ecosystem through assisting those who want to start or grow businesses. Through designing our curriculum, leveraging the university's resources, providing students with the ability to provide one-on-one consultation to these community entrepreneurs, and hosting free weekly Saturday classes, breaking bread together by providing healthy breakfast and lunch, we empower these entrepreneurs. All of these are combined with a dialogue about understanding the link with civic engagement. The secret sauce, as you, Brenda, know very well, to successfully bringing all of these elements together is in the human relationship that is developed, built on trust. You see, you know very well how connected you got with your entrepreneurs and how they trusted you with their stories and their challenges and how you help them cope with everything. And that relationship is what makes everything going.
I think you speak to something important in terms of relationships and trust, and I'm sure, when you were starting out, it took figuring out what relationships were necessary to create and sustain and which ones turn into partnerships. And then trust overall, I think, really ties into the program as well, whether it's, the university trusting you and the program to represent us well in terms of forging community partnerships. I think the consultants, placing their trust in the process overall, and then the entrepreneurs who, essentially have in some ways trusted you with helping turn their dreams into continuing their work and creating businesses. It was great seeing recently, I think I saw a post from Charlie about La Chamba, the coffee shop opened, and I remember the entrepreneur giving his pitch in front of all of us that Saturday morning, and I thought, wow, what a concept of someone who's creating an environment where people can enjoy coffee but also come together to work and find employment. And that's really neat because he's creating another environment that's similar to Shore, where it's supporting people. And that's pretty awesome.
Right.
So kind of going on to, going off the word awesome, I'm kind of curious, how do you think that Shore contributes to the Where Awesome Happens motto of the Bauer College? So essentially, you talked about the external impact of Shore, but within the Bauer College, what are some of the positive effects that you've seen?
Oh, so within Bauer, the most important impact that it has is on our students. Because the 21st century skills is what our students need for the marketplace today. As you know, we live in a world where the stable marketplace has shifted. We're in a global economy, shared economies. So, as we call it, it's a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. And students need the skills, starting with empathy and innovation, the entrepreneurial mindset, the leadership skills. They'll need to learn how to collaborate with others, teamwork, and so what the Shore program does is that it brings all of these skills together by implementing the theories that the students have learned in the classroom. See, one-on-one consulting with the entrepreneurs is really where the real learning takes place, because you are teaching what you want to learn the most. Learning by doing, purposeful learning, action-based learning, all of these thoughts, the different educational frameworks, the different schools of learning that are being talked about, they all come here together. And so our students are the ones that are most empowered by this program. There is nothing anywhere that we have seen. Quite often people will ask us, actually, Brenda, how do you compare with other programs? And it's very hard for us to benchmark because we haven't seen another program that has quite the breadth and the depth that we have. And so, and that's, I mean, that speaks to the awards that we have won, because that's what it is. And us, right, and our students, when they're out interviewing, when they graduate, they are on the driver's seat, as I call it, because they're the ones that are talking about this, and that's what employers want to see. What is it aside that the traditional textbook class that you have done?
Bauer College's executive education program is training business professionals and leaders to tackle the challenges of tomorrow. Courses in consulting, strategy, analytics, project management, and more, led by Bauer's award-winning faculty. Find open enrollment programs at bauer.uh.edu/exec.
For some of our listeners who might not be familiar with the structure of the SURE program, could you just quickly walk through, how the semester works and some of the numbers that we've seen recently in terms of number of entrepreneurs and consultants, just like the basic facts of how the program works?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the nice thing about this program is that everybody that puts in gets something out of it. Okay, so we have 4 components, or 4, it's part of our ecosystem, the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So we have our Bauer students that I address them as consultants. Then we have the entrepreneurs from the community, from the, then we have subject matter experts, and then our partners. Okay, so the Bauer students, the consultants, as I refer to them, they get course credit and real-world experience by consulting for local entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs receive hands-on, one-on-one help from students and world-class business guidance from experts by writing a business plan. Okay. Then we have our subject matter experts. They receive branding and an opportunity to give back commensurate with the value of their time. So they receive branding and by becoming mentors and guest lecturers. And our partners that fund our program, they receive positive branding and a high ROI. By funding a program that partners with community stakeholders, it multiplies the value of the original investment multifold.
Right. And so going, from that, then stellar students and staff and community members involved and outside experts, could you just quickly highlight some of the numbers that we
Yes.
have? So for this semester,
Right.
how many entrepreneurs and consultants are there, and what does that look like kind of on average?
Okay, so our growth has been just phenomenal. Okay, so just to tell you about this semester, and then I'll give you in a nutshell, over 4 semesters. So this semester, we admitted 120 businesses, so 130 entrepreneurs from under-resourced communities. Some of them are partners in business. That's why it's 130 entrepreneurs, but 120 businesses. And I have 27 Bauer consultants. So on an average, every Saturday, I have a class of 160 by the time you add the guest lecturers and Charlie and myself and so on. So we're looking at a class of 160 that we serve breakfast, have a class that runs from 9 to 1, ending with a very good lunch, and so on and so forth. We have success story after success story from our entrepreneurs. 77% of our entrepreneurs are women. 63% are under the federal low-income guidelines. 50% are African American. 27% are Latina. We have educated over 800 entrepreneurs and launched close to 160 businesses in over 60 Houston area zip codes in just 4 semesters, with this being our 5th year and a 9th academic semester.
That's incredible. And I think, it's amazing that you remember all those numbers as well. I'm sure with everything going on, sometimes it might be hard to keep up. But kind of going from those, you said you had 800 entrepreneurs thus far that you've worked with?
Yes.
Through the program?
Right.
Is there one story that has stuck with you or sticks with you? I mean, I'm sure there's so many and there's so many people that you've met with inspiring stories, but if you could share one for our listeners that has really inspired you, what would it be?
Several. It's very hard to choose from. You already mentioned Jimmy's La Champa, the cafe. I mean, that in itself is so inspiring because it's not just a business, but it's also a social enterprise because it's a co-working space. It's and so on and so forth. And so yes, I can give you several, but another one that is really very inspiring is Africa on My Back. The young lady who's in the 3rd ward basically provides resources, materials from Africa, her home country Ghana, her social enterprises. She wants to, and she has 2 young sons, and she calls them the brilliant black boys, and wants to basically through her enterprise, wants to basically make sure that the young African black boys are empowered through education, through travel, and everything else that would make them educated, empower the young men as they grow up. So to have not only an enterprise, but also to have a social enterprise that has a social component. But then let me tell you something else. We had a young man that came to us with just a recipe. And the recipe, if I told you, was just popcorn recipe. That my Bauer consultant was saying, oh my God, Dr. Khumawala, you want me to consult him and he's going to make a business out of popcorn? The Bauer students, as you know, your grade is dependent on these business plans, was really nervous. And I said, don't worry, you just do the best you can. And today, he was unemployed, came with a recipe of popcorn from his grandpa because he grew up eating grandpa's popcorn. Today, he has a brick and mortar business in the Heights. He has a restaurant in the Heights. We have another young lady that came to us with a recipe of lemon bars. And today she has a contract with Nordstrom. She sells, her lemon bars are sold at Nordstrom. I tell people, buy them directly from Heather.
Nordstrom, get your shoes, your shirt in a
lemon bar. And yes, and these are all organic, freshly squeezed, none of this canned stuff, all made from scratch. And we have another young man who makes candles out of soy. So there's no, and it just goes on and on. The life of the candle is double the life of an average candle. It has so many stories. And our Bauer, and I want to tell you, our Bauer students that have launched businesses, that as they have developed business plans for these entrepreneurs by consulting with them, they have had ideas and they have prepared their own business plans. So Bauer students have also become entrepreneurs, And they've said, why am I working for the corporate world and making money for somebody else when I can have my own business?
Great. It's great to hear, about that domino effect and being a part of the class. And
Yeah, right. So it's
pretty great.
right. So it's awesome all around. We educate the students, we help the community in which we embedded. It's a win-win. It's a service learning component with a measurable social impact.
So Dr. K, for this next year, for the 2018-2019 school year, to kind of close our conversation off today, what is your goal for the SURE program?
The goal for the SURE program is for this academic year, let's just say, is to present this program, replicate this program at other universities, because we are being invited by other universities. And I have said this before, if every academic university could implement this program, they could not only enrich their own students through experiential learning, innovation, and impact, but also empower their community, and that could change the face of this country. Because small businesses are the economic engine, and it's not only universities that we are being invited here in the U.S., but we already have a trip to Monterrey Tec de Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. They want to implement SURE for the entire northern region of Mexico.
That's
through Tec de.
The UH model and the SURE model, and it's really good to hear that.
Yes, so
Bauer and what you've done and other people are looking not just nationally but globally.
Globally, yes.
Yeah.
So
you have to keep me posted on how those presentations go and what the effects are.
Yes, definitely we will. And we have already been told to showcase this program at the annual meeting of the American Accounting Association, where you have 2,500 academic professors attending the conference. So that's coming up in 2019 as well.
Great. It's good to hear that we're taking the SURE, Bauer, and UH story on the road. That's really good to hear.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time today.
No, I thank you, the students. Y'all are the ones that have inspired me. Y'all are the ones that have that came to me and said, can we do this? We are interested in learning. The genesis of this program was really you, the students, and the study abroad India trip. Coming back and students said, we want to learn. Can we do it? Can you teach us? And I said,
I speak on behalf of the students who have gone through your SURE program and hopefully will in the future continue to sign up for the course and learn a lot, that we appreciate your working wisdom today and in the classroom. And to close off, I'd like to give a shameless plug to Lachamba Coffee and Careers. As Dr. Khumawala just mentioned, it is a coffee shop and workspace environment that was created by one of SURE's very own entrepreneurs, and it opened just recently, and it is on 1710 Telephone Road. So thank you for your time today and for listening, and have a great week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Working Wisdom podcast series from the C.T. Bauer College of Business, brought to you by the Working Families Initiative. The initiative aims to provide support and access for women in business school and the workforce, and to generate research that organizations can use to implement policies and standards to benefit a diverse workforce. For more information about Bauer College and this podcast series, visit www.bauer.uh.edu/podcast.